By the end of this video, you're not only going to know the number one most overlooked secret to manifesting money, but you're also going to know how to very easily access this secret for free in only a few minutes a day. Hey, it's Andrew, otherwise known as the guy who wrote the last Law of Attraction book you'll ever need to read, coming at you with another video, and this is a highly requested one. I mean, it doesn't really take a genius to know that probably the most emails that I receive are asking me about money. So obviously I want to make sure to start addressing this for you so that you can manifest the money that you've been seeking in your life. But before we get into that, doing the quick YouTube thing, I'd just like to quickly invite you to please like this video if you've been enjoying this content up until now. And by all means, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and that you've hit the bell notification so that you don't miss any future videos. With that said, let's dive into a really important distinction about the law of attraction that there is still a lot of confusion around. And that's the question of sitting on a couch and doing nothing versus actually getting out into the world and doing something. And we need to answer this question before we get into this number one secret that I'm going to be sharing with you. So really, let's just talk about this. We've got this prevailing theory on different sides, and I think oftentimes it is even just like a theory that people feel. It's something that they read in a book or it's something that they see in a video, and they just regurgitate it without even understanding the true dynamics of it, without even understanding the true impact and the true value of action versus inaction, and where that value resides with whichever way you're doing it. So let me give you my take based on my experience, and then we can use that as a leveraging point to hopefully offering you a really powerful, really potent, really effective secret for manifesting that money that you want. So if you want that money, if you want that relationship, if you want that health, if you want that job promotion, if you want anything else, the question is, do you sit on your couch and meditate about it, or do you go out into the real world and do something about it? And my answer is, technically, you do both. But each of them has a time and a place to do them. So putting it this way, I am all for sitting on your couch and meditating and letting things kind of like, permeate or percolate or whatever word you want to use to a point. Because at some point you're going to need to take action because you are in a three-dimensional physical space. It makes perfect sense that you're here to manifest, at least in part, through your physicality, through the action that you take. Otherwise, why would you even be here? Why would you be experiencing this kind of level of reality in these three dimensions if you weren't intended to do that? But by that same token, I don't want to take away from the value of sitting on that couch, because there is a lot of value there in terms of laying the foundation for what you need. This actually brings me to the number one secret here, and it's actually a 1-2 punch combination that's the secret to manifesting money, or technically anything that you want. And that secret is inspired ideas backed by inspired action. And that's where this combination comes into play, because at some point you've got to sit, you've got to meditate, you've got to visualize, you've got to go through gratitude, you've got to do all these different things in order for those really inspired ideas to come up for you so that you know which actions to take, versus just flailing wildly at anything from a lackful state of mind, trying to force something into being, trying to force things to go your way without even understanding that there's a gestation to this. There's an unfolding. There's a natural progression. There are things that are lined up for you that they've got to find their way to you, because there's a sequence here. There's a path that you're on that if only you realize and embrace and accept that, the path will actually be much easier, much faster, and much more enjoyable. But let's get back to the secret here, because what does that even mean? Inspired action, inspired ideas. What is that like? What is that? Like, I love the way people oftentimes say that, and myself included, we're like, just take inspired action. And people are like, well, that's really nice, but what does that actually mean? And what this means is ideas that are coming to you from a good place where you emotionally feel good about them, where you feel inspired by them, where you feel lifted up by them, where you're fueled, where you're excited, where you have anticipation, where you have enthusiasm. That's inspiration. Those are inspired ideas. And by that same token, inspired action is when you're taking action from that place of that inspiration where, again, you're excited, you've got enthusiasm, you've got gratitude, you've got confidence. You actually are taking this action knowing that something is on the way for you. And that's a really important distinction, because most people take lackful action, which is why people get confused in the first place and don't realize the value of their action. If you're taking action from a lackful place, well then, you don't have the emotion of enthusiasm or confidence or excitement. You have the emotion of fear, uncertainty, doubt, impatience, jealousy, frustration, just frustration throughout everything. When you've got that emotion as you're taking action, you are probably forcing it and you're probably going in the way opposite direction of what you need to do. And people can get to success. They can kind of bulldoze their way through it in taking lackful action, but they're not going to enjoy it, and therefore it is not technically sustainable. It's something where it'll be temporary, it'll be fleeting. It could be massive, but by that same token, they will wear themselves out too thin, and it'll be very easy for them to lose their momentum, lose whatever success they've actually achieved, and lose that money or anything else that they manifested that they worked so hard to get in the first place. So there's no real question here when it comes to the difference between lackful action and inspired action, lackful ideas and inspired ideas. It's how you feel. Do you feel like really like up for it, like you're ready to dive in and do something about it, even if it's not easy? Even if it's not technically easy, do you still feel good about it? Do you still feel excited? Do you feel willing to do it like you're really getting somewhere? That's how you know it's inspired and not coming from a place of lack. That's your clue right there. That's your key. But what I haven't revealed yet to you, which I promised at the beginning of the video, is how to actually access inspired ideas, which will lead to your inspired action. How do you actually do this? Well, let's dive into that. But before we do, quick timeout. I just want to say thanks real quick to an awesome reader who left recent feedback on my book on Amazon. So today's featured 5-star review, this was left by Julie, a 5-star review with the subject heading must read, and it reads, my first law of attraction book and the last. I have already started to implement some of the methods and I'm already loving the good vibes. Thanks, Andrew. Wow, Julie, thank you. I'm so grateful. I so appreciate you leaving that feedback, and most importantly, I appreciate you reading the book and using the content. And speaking of the using the content, let me now give you my way of accessing those inspired ideas, which will lead to the inspired action, which will lead to you finally manifesting that money that you want, or really manifesting anything else that you want. But just to tease you for one more minute with some really important information here, I want to talk about gratitude, because this is going to lead into the way to accessing this. So in talking about gratitude, what does gratitude actually mean for you? What impact does gratitude make in your world? Why do people talk about, why do all the law of attraction experts and gurus and all the authors, why do they always pay lip service to gratitude? What is it about this thing? And I believe it's basically a misunderstanding of what it really is, which is why most people talk about it, but they don't really understand why they're actually talking about it. They kind of give you a vague idea of what it does, but they don't really articulate it for you. So let me give you my best attempt of articulating what gratitude really means and the impact that it genuinely makes in your life, in your experience, and most importantly, in your vibration that magnifies all the things that you want back to you. So gratitude is basically that emotional state where you're satisfied, you're content, you've got that vibe of, I have what I want, and I am continuing to receive what I want. And when you have that state of mind, when you have that state of being, you're basically instructing the universe through your own subconscious blueprints, your own frequencies, your own vibrations. Basically, you're instructing the universe saying, okay, this person's happy, let's continue whatever that trend is. Let's mirror those vibrations back to that person and give them more reasons to be grateful, more things to be happy about, more satisfaction, more fulfillment, more contentment. That's what's really going on there. You're basically saying, all right, I want to order these good things in my life. This is the strategy for me doing so. Feeling this emotion, feeling grateful for what I have or what I want, or both. And that really is another distinction. You can feel grateful for just what you have already, and that will invite more of what you want. So if you can't get in that emotional state of having what you want already, don't worry about that. Just feeling gratitude for the things that you have, that will get you further along the way than you could ever realize, and it'll actually get you all the way over if you needed to. And if you're struggling of how to feel gratitude for things that you already have, well, think about it this way. I often give this extreme example. Think of things that are in your life right now, and imagine someone were going to take them from you, and they say the only way you can have them back is you've got to give them reasons why you're grateful for them. You have to give them reasons why these things are important to you. You know, your laptop or your phone. Like, I mean, for me, I am so grateful for my laptop because I basically run most of my business on it. I mean, this is where I'm recording. I mean, well, also I'm grateful for the camera I'm using to record these videos, but I'm going to upload that video into the laptop, which I'm going to use to edit the video. This was one of the laptops that I used in terms of constructing a lot of my content. There was a prior laptop, which I still keep, that I actually wrote my book on. I mean, without those things, how would I even have gotten this book out there? How would I have even been running my business? Like, why would I not be grateful every single day for my laptop? Why would I not be grateful for my heartbeat? Why would I not be grateful for my body? Why would I not be grateful for my friends? Why would I not be grateful for the clothes on my back? Why would I not be grateful for the food on my plate? Why would I not be grateful for all those things? Even if there's an element of dissatisfaction or impatience for things that you still want to have, why would you not be grateful with the things that you already have? Why would you not be grateful for everything that you've already received? All the friends you've had in your life, all the meals that people have bought for you, all those times that the universe really conspired in your favor and really provided for you, even if you weren't acknowledging it, even if you weren't noticing it. Imagine what happens when you do notice it. Imagine what happens when you do acknowledge it. You just fuel that fire, you fan those flames, and you really massively vibrate that signal to have it come back at you so much more potently, so much more enjoyably. It's a wonderful thing, and it has to be experienced to be believed. But the good news is, even before the results actually come, feeling gratitude in the moment in and of itself is a victory and a win in and of itself. Studies have shown that feeling gratitude will reduce anxiety, it will lower depression, it will improve sleep, it will increase confidence. It has all these psychological benefits where even if this law of attraction thing isn't real, or I'm deluded, or who knows, you're still getting a win by experiencing gratitude. So let's think about gratitude just a little bit more deeply here before I get into that promise of how to access the inspired ideas and the inspired action. And here's the key part. When you are feeling gratitude, there's something that triggers, that goes on in your mind and in your energetic space that brings things into being for you that aren't necessarily tangible. Because by experiencing gratitude on a regular basis for even just 5 minutes a day, you are triggering synapses in your brain. You're firing neurons. You're making connections where you're basically programming your subconscious mind. You're programming your brain. You're programming your way of being and your state of being into being a happier, more fulfilled, more content version of yourself. And when you send those programs and you send those instructions, it sends something back to you in the form of inspired ideas. And really, that's what I'm getting at here. I've actually been hiding this in plain sight for you. The secret way of accessing the inspired ideas, which you can back with your inspired action, which will lead to that money and anything else, is the gratitude that you feel each and every day. Gratitude is the ultimate secret. Gratitude is the ultimate starting point, and it really is that powerful. Gratitude is how I turned everything around in my life in only 6 months. But by that same token, I kind of turned it around in only 4 months. Actually, I turned it around in only like 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I made a huge difference in my life. Back when things were going wrong and I had to fix it, I went to gratitude, and the impact I can't even put into words. It was like a movie. And this can do the same thing for you, just like it's done for countless other people. You just have to be willing to lean into it. So let's get a little more technical here. How will that gratitude lead to the inspired idea that will lead to the inspired action that will lead to your money? Well, what are those ideas that you're going to get? Are you going to be inspired to write a book? Are you going to be inspired to start a business? Are you going to be inspired to invest in a stock or a company or a crypto? I know people are doing that a lot now. Are you going to be inspired to do some kind of thing, take some kind of action that will just lead to wonderful results? Are you going to invest in your friend's business? Are you going to finally have that willingness to go into your boss's office and request that promotion, request that raise? Are you going to do something that's really just going to get you in the right place? Basically, are you going to be filled with the confidence and the enthusiasm to know now is the moment to take this action through this idea that just came out of nowhere? It just came to me. It came to me out of the blue. I don't even remember how exactly I structured the title of my book, but I know it was inspired. I know it kind of floated in there as I was tinkering with the different ideas, as I was deciding what is the real difference that I want to make in this world? What's the real difference I want to make through this book? And it kind of just sort of came to me. That's how it works, because before I did that, you better believe I was very grateful every single day for being able to make impact, being able to make a difference for myself and for others. And this is how it manifested for me. This is how it was presented to me, which then, of course, I had to take inspired action, where I spent those 9.5 weeks writing the book, where I spent the 30 days beforehand mapping it out, and where I've been spending every single day since making content like this, going on interviews, telling people about the book, telling people about this content, teaching to the best of my ability, showing people my version of things in hopes that they can use it for their own advantage. For you, the inspiration can come from anywhere, and that's the beauty of it. You don't know where it's going to come from, but when it hits you, you're going to know. And by the way, it isn't going to be just like one big lightning bolt from the sky. It's going to be little subtle things and a few big things, or maybe one massive thing. You don't know, and that's the beauty. You don't have to wonder about how it's going to come. You're just going to know in the moment, because you're going to feel enthusiasm. You're going to feel confidence. And by the way, that thing that you're inspired by, that might not be the ultimate final step, but that might be the thing that leads to a really important step that gets you where you want to go, that gets you to that money, that gets you to that business idea, that gets you to whatever you really want. It all begins with gratitude, which will begin an alchemy of sorts with you and your subconscious mind and the universe and just everything around you, all the energy and the vibrations around you, where those ideas will come, and then you will know that the time to act on them is here. The time is now. That's how it works. That's how it worked for me, and that's how it's worked for so many other people that I've worked with, so many other people that have read my book, so many other people that have gone through Gravity of the Cosmos. This is how it works. Is it the only way that it works? Well, I can't tell you that. I don't know for sure. All I know is that this is a way, a definite way that does in fact work. So I highly recommend you give it a shot, because feeling gratitude, it's free. Just like I promised at the beginning of this video. You don't have to pay anything to experience gratitude. You don't even have to buy my book, even though I highly encourage you do. These are what my videos are for. I have so many methods on my YouTube channel. You have access to so many other YouTube channels, so many other books. You have so many other resources which can kind of lead you or guide you towards feeling that gratitude. All you have to do is take advantage and lean into it and experience it and enjoy it and let things take off from there. I was not kidding when I said at the beginning of this video that this is the #1 most overlooked secret to manifesting money. It is. And it's kind of hiding in plain sight here. It's almost underwhelming, the answer. When you think about it, you're like, well, that's it? That's so simple. How could that work? That's how you know that it works. When it's so simple and you're like, how could this even work? How could it be that simple? That's how you know that it's the real deal, because it's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be simple. It's supposed to be straightforward. There doesn't need to be ambiguity. There doesn't need to be complication. There doesn't need to be confusion. It really just needs to be a level of simplicity and ease that you could lean into and go from there. I really, really hope that my message has gotten through to you today, because trust me when I say it is a powerful, useful, efficient, magnetic message if you allow yourself to take advantage of it. Trust me on that. You will thank me later. And with that in mind, I would love to hear from you. Do me a favor, comment below with just one thing in your life that you're grateful for. Get the process moving now. And you know what? Besides benefiting yourself, you might inspire somebody else who's watching this video, who's reading the comments. Inspire them and yourselves with gratitude and get moving towards those inspired ideas that will lead to that inspired action that will lead to all that money that you really want. And any positive comment that you put down, that's going to get you entered into this month's contest, where one lucky winner will walk away with lifetime access to Gravity of the Cosmos, my advanced level full immersion guided program for manifesting your every desire through the law of attraction. This is the program where I'm going to take you through 90 straight days of manifesting methods in only a few minutes a day, so that you don't have to worry or wonder about what method to do or when to do it, and you can just sit back, relax, and follow along as I guide you through 3 full months of massive vibrational momentum toward manifesting the life that you've always dreamt of. And if you're feeling in the mood for a free test drive of the program, well, my book, The Last Law of Attraction book you'll ever need to read, has a link to special bonuses, one of which includes the first few days of Gravity of the Cosmos, free of charge, so you can try it before you buy it. And of course, you can feel free to get my book by going to lastlawofattractionbook.com, which will auto forward you to the Amazon listing, where you can get it in Kindle or paperback or audiobook. And that audiobook is also available on Audible and Apple Books. And that's a wrap on another video. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I really hope that you will take this lesson to heart. And by all means, if you did enjoy this, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you've hit the bell notification so that you don't miss any other videos. Comment below with something that you're grateful for, and be back soon, because I will be back soon with another fun video for you. I will definitely look forward to seeing you again next time.